Welcome back, Squires. We have ourselves another deck profile, and we got ourselves a pretty familiar face. Mr. KIEFER ERICKSON, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Doing good, awesome, awesome. What did you do today, KIEFER?
So I went 4-0 with 4-0 at locals with Ritual Beasts.
Okay, very nice, very nice. And I think you also recently won a kind of a box tournament recently that we had, hey?
I did. Up in Lacombe, there was a tournament for $200 and 2 boxes, and
nice.
Came home with it. So.
Yes, and this was the same deck that you did that with, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's also
absolutely.
The same deck I brought to Nats.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited to see this list. Do you want to give out any shout outs before you start?
Give 2 shout outs. First one, it's always the game nights.
Hey.
Always great at locals, always good at testing.
Hey.
And then the second one, just a quick shout out to Wolt. They're a person I do testing with online.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, let's go off and let's see what you played here.
All right, so starting off with the Ritual Beast package, we have 3 Spiritual Beast Tamer Laras that she makes the deck. She has 3 different effects. All 3 of them are relevant. First one is you can discard her to the grave, gain an additional normal summon immediately after that resolves, for say like Cannahawk or a Tengu or just any Ritual Beast. Second is when she's banished, usually through Cannahawk, but also through other effects, she can special summon out a Ritual Beast from deck.
Oh.
And then the third one is if she's in the graveyard like this, you can banish her from the grave, replacement effect to protect all Ritual Beast cards on your field, including your back row stuff like Steeds or Ritual Beast Inheritance.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, she's your main starter, she's your main extender, she makes the deck.
Okay.
The second one is a pretty familiar face to anyone that plays. We have 3 Cannahawks.
Ooh.
Cannahawk is just Gold Sark for Ritual Beast cards.
Yep.
So not much to explain there. But
pretty good.
On once per turn as custom with all the Ritual Beasts.
Gotta love that on hard once per turn.
Yes, sir. All right. Next we got 3 Ritual Beast Tamer Elders. He's a weird one where, yes, he doesn't really have an effect, but if you normal summon him, you get an additional normal summon of a Ritual Beast. That does not activate, so even if he's negated, you still get the extra normal. That happens quite a bit, and it always catches people off guard every time they do it once.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Next, we got another 3 up. We got 3 Ranpangus. This is kind of your secondary starter. Its effect isn't as good as Cannahawk, but it's still good nonetheless.
Yep.
You banish a Ritual Beast card from your extra deck, and then you send 1 to the grave with the same type. Under Dimension Shifter, this is basically just Cannahawk, but better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't shifter this deck, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope. If your opponent shifters you, blind shifters, it actively helps you.
Yes, it does.
Next, we got...
I found out the hard way earlier today.
Yes, sir. Next, we got all the one of Ritual Beasts. We'll start off with these. This is Ritual Beast Tamer Zephyrambilka. He's a pendulum. You don't use him for his effect. On that, well, you don't use him for this effect. You use him for his normal effect, which specials back from grave. So, if you have a linking grave that gets popped or destroyed, just summon it back, and you got your links all back online. Next is Lara. She does the same thing, but she is a woman, so you summon her more. Next up is Wen. This is a line that I usually go with. I usually go with the Wen over Lara. And what she does is she does the same on normal summon. She special summon 1 from banishment. So, yeah, just pretty simple effect there. Another tamer for the names.
Yep.
Then we got Ritual Beast, or Spiritual Beast Apelio.
Apelio.
And Apelio, he's really your battle. He has a battle trick. You banish a Ritual Beast card from your grave till the end of the turn. All your Ritual Beasts that you would summon, even if they aren't on the field at the time, gain an additional 500 attack.
Oh,
This is really good for breaking boards because of another card coming up soon called Ritual Beast Inheritance. Inheritance says all of your opponent's monsters lose 200 attack for each Ritual Beast type on the field, so Pyro, Psychic, Thunder, and Beast, and Worm as well. If you have all of those on the field, they lose 200 per type, and it's per card as well. So if you have 2 of them on the field, they lose 1,600 and then 2,400, and you can just swing easily over anything, really.
Okay.
Came up in Nats against a branded player. I had a Underworld Goddess on the field, and he couldn't get over it with any of his monsters, or else he would have lost. And I managed to go through his whole extra deck like that. So
Wow.
we're good. Next up, we got our last Ritual Beast monster. This is Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda.
Okay.
That's custom. She's a spiritual tamer, so she can act as either part of the fusions, but she also has a pretty nice effect that can cheat something out of the extra deck, and that comes up a lot more than you think, even if it is a giant rat type effect.
Yep.
Okay, next up we got the Nemesis package. We got 1 Protoss and 1 Flag and Bane.
Mr. Protoss himself.
Yes, sir.
How many times did you resolve this over the last couple of events?
Last couple events, I make them pretty much every game. It's a good card.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
just GG easy, right?
Yeah, Ritual Beast is really good because you got lots of different fours that you can go into Infernal Flame Banshee and just search the flag. And flag also helps by returning, say if you have a banished extra deck monster off of Rampengu, you return that and you can summon flag and flag search Protoss, you banish 3, Protoss is good.
Gotta love the synergy there.
Yes, sir. The best matchup I'd say for Protoss in this deck is the Yugioh matchup, mainly because you don't really play darks except for extra deck.
Yep.
So
And Protoss does not kill himself because he
Yeah.
can't be disturbed by card effects.
so you just get the free link material with the other monsters. So just make an apple on top of that, and you're good.
Yep.
Next, we're going to go for the hand trap lineup. We're playing 3 Imperm,
Yep. Pretty standard there.
playing triple Droll, triple Ash, and then, as I said before, the thing that helps your deck if your opponent does it, 3 Shifter.
Good old shifter.
Yes, sir.
Good old shifter.
And Shifter's even good going second in this deck, mainly because if you have Protoss, you can banish cards from your grave in order to free it up so you have nothing left in the graveyard. So you can, if you draw into Shifter, it is still live.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't come up very often, but it does still come up.
Okay.
Next, we'll go to the other spell cards. So, since, as you saw, most of them are psychics, we are running 3 E-Tellies.
Of course, yep.
Yes, sir. It's one of my favorite cards in the game.
Absolutely. It's
And-
glued. It's glued to your hand.
Yes, sir. I see it quite a bit. It's not as good as, say, it would be in something like Gold Pride Punk, but it is your main extender. So, say if Rampengu gets ashed, you just E-Tally out a name, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Get them back and do the effect, and you're off to the races.
Yep.
Next, we have the board breaker of Book of Eclipse.
Oh, how did Book of Eclipse do for you?
So I like Book of Eclipse quite a bit. Not only is it a board breaker, but say if you have to dodge something, you can do it with Eclipse, Chain Eclipse, and then you can still fuse into the Ritual Beast because they're all contact fused, so it
Gotcha.
doesn't matter if they're face up or face down.
Yeah. It's a nice way to play around anti-spell, too.
True. And it also is good against Fiendsmith because it just baits out the one interaction, so you're free to go if that's all.
Yes, yes.
Next we have one called By the Grave.
Yep.
This is mainly for one of the guys at locals, but it comes up a lot more than I think I gave it credit for initially, so I decided to include it in the deck.
Someone is being targeted.
And then finally we have 1 Ritual Beast Steeds.
Ah, the steeds. Okay.
It is a Raigeki up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters I control, and you can modulate that with stuff like the Cannahawk and the Nochi Drago
Yep.
to get more onto the field. And I'm pretty sure it checks at resolutions, and say up to the number is the effect.
Gotcha.
So, say if you only have 2 on board, you can take out both of them in chain, so you can have 4 instead.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a pretty good card.
Yes, sir. Next, we'll move on to the extra.
Alrighty,
We'll
sounds
start
good.
off with the fusions. We got 1 Ritual Beast Ulti-Guy Pelio. This is probably one of the best cards in the game.
Oh,
at this moment.
it's nuts. This thing is nuts. The fact that it is not once per chain on these negates is insane.
Yeah, non-once per turn, non-once per chain, Omni Negate. That you can really easily modulate your hand with stuff like this next card coming up, Ritual Beast Ulti-cannahawk.
Oh yes, the guy that came back.
Yeah. So,
Only playing 2. I guess you probably don't need the 3rd.
not really. I decided to go against Punch but what the Cannahawk Shuffle is what I like to call it. You target 2 Ritual Beast monsters in your banishment with different types. to summon them, and if you have a third, you can cheat out basically the cost. So you summon out 2 and return only 1, and you still get the search because it resolves as much as possible.
Gotcha.
Then you can just go into another Cannahawk, return to get the search.
Yep.
And it spirals back from there. You can do it about 5. I think with the one I'm playing, you can do it 5 times because you can summon both Lars at the same time, even though you can only special them once per turn. That's the same thing with all the ritual beasts. You can only special them once, but you can, if you have multiples, so say if you play 2 Windows or 2 Lars, you can summon them both at the same time.
Yep.
Bypassing that effect.
Gotcha. Okay.
Next, we have 2 Ritual Beast Ulti-Notra Dragos. They have a pretty poignant effect where you can only target him for card effects if he's on the field. And he also has a nice little quick effect takeout for a banished Ritual Beast. This includes your links in the banished.
Okay.
So even though it's only 1, since it can be in attack position and it can be the link monsters, it comes up more than you think, and it also has a really nice effect of just banishing 2 Ritual Beasts from your grave instead, and that's how you get the Cannahawk extra off of just the 1.
Gotcha.
I play 2 because it's really just good to have 2 in case one gets outed or...
Absolutely. Playing around Crash Tier Unicorn, I see.
Yes, sir. Next up, we have 1 Ritual Beast Ulti-Apelio. Honestly, this could be changed up with something else. The only reason I play it is because not only is it another takeout, it's also quite high attack points compared to all the other Ritual Beasts.
Yep.
You could change this out for, say, like another SP or a Nightmare Unicorn, or just access code Talker. I feel it's not needed, so I just play him at 1 for the
Gotcha.
Rampengu dump
Gotcha.
to an Apelio.
Yep.
Next up, we have our links. We'll start with high links and go to link.
Sounds
We
good.
have 1 Underworld Goddess, Closed World.
Okay.
And everyone knows what she does
Yep.
at this point, I assume. She comes up a lot more than you think, just because you can get a lot of monsters on the field, and there's no actual summon locks.
Which is also pretty crazy.
So yeah, so just a field negate and the graveyard negate for something like Flamberge, or
Yep.
another one is the Bell try and summon back, or Birth try and summon back.
Yep.
And it's just pretty decent from there. Next we have 1 Appaloosa. This is your alternative if you can't get into the Ulti-Guy Pelio with enough cards in hand to save. You can only make it with 1. I would rather go into a 3-mat Apple than a 1 off.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
And this is just nib insurance usually, but
Yep.
it's
Yep.
also good. Next we have 1 Ritual Beast Ulti-Ray Rotari, one of the new ones. What he allows you to do is add a banished card back from your banished to your hand and gain an additional normal summon action. So even if you've locked yourself out of specialing Cannahawk, add it back, normal summon effect, and you're off to the races once more.
Gotcha.
And he also has effect on your opponent's turn, where you banish 1 Ritual Beast card you control, 1 card your opponent controls, that's perma-banished. It's just nice interruption.
Okay.
But he also has a kind of floodgatey effect where you can't tribute cards for effects. Granted, this doesn't stop stuff like Kaijus or Nib, but it comes up for stuff like tribute for cost, so some of the U-Bell stuff,
Yep.
and it also stops stuff like Econ.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Makes sense.
Next, we have a quick little IPSP. as
Okay.
always.
Yep.
I don't go into IP as much as I probably should. I usually just shotgun for the SP because even on your turn going first, you can banish Ritual Beast cards from your grave to just kind of set up for next turn, and you still have +1.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, something that shouldn't be ignored. Next, we have 2 Ritual Beast Ulti-Fumino Falcos.
Okay. Yeah.
He has the effects to Ritual Beast cards that he points to gain additional attack. So if you have him and the Pelio, it really gets out of hand fast because of the extra 11 just kind of inherently.
Yep.
He also has the effect where you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your graveyard, gain an additional normal summon of Ritual Beast immediately after, and you're good for another. So say if you have a Cannahawk in hand, but you've already summoned,
Yep.
normal the Cannahawk again, and you're good to go. And he can also take out for the 2.
Yeah.
As with most ritual beasts.
Yeah.
Then we have one Link Spider. The reason I play Link Spider is because of the Nib token. Nib does hurt this deck in a lot of circumstances, or if your opponent knows where to hit.
Yep.
The reason you play him is to get rid of the Nib token to go into the Ray Retari because it's only 3 effect monsters.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Okay.
you still have your Banish and you still have your Add Back.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
And finally, we have one Infernal Flame Banisher.
Yes, of course. The flag
And
searcher. Yep.
This searches for your flag and flag gets you.
Yep, makes sense.
Next, we have
All
the
right.
side deck.
Yeah, let's see that spicy side deck.
In the side deck, we have 3 Nib. It's
Okay.
just really good with all the hand traps going on right now.
Yep.
Nib plus another hand trap's usually going to resolve. So I don't mind it at 3. I know some people in the Ritual Beast community don't like it. They're just wrong. Next, we have 2 DD Crows.
Okay.
And we have 2 Effect Veilers.
Okay.
The reason I'm playing DD Crow is it's mainly for stuff like U-Bell, so they can't Phantom U-Bell if they have multiples in grade. DD Crow like that.
Yep.
And it's also good for stuff like Tempai where they buy from grade.
Yep.
So it's kind of a not the best hand trap, but it's good enough.
Okay. So yeah, you found that DD Crow was pretty solid throughout.
He's pretty solid. He can also banish spells, and
Yeah, it does. It does hit anything. So that's like definitely the nice thing with DD Crow. And then how did the Veilers perform?
Veilers perform well. It's a little bit awkward if you have Shifter and Veiler, but it's fine.
Yeah.
You just run for more hand traps. So I don't mind them.
Yeah.
I'm not playing Bestials because I don't own any, but yeah, I'd say because of the amount of dark decks in this format, or the amount of decks with light targets as well, it's not a bad idea to just run Bestials as well.
Yeah.
Because White Woods, it hurts. And
True.
next we have 3 Solemn Strikes.
Oh, Solemn Strikes. Nice.
I decided to go over them for Judgment. Even though Judgment's a good card, I find a lot of the time the way I play Ritual Beast is it's a lot longer for the combos.
Yep. So you just felt like hitting the effects were just a little bit better.
Yeah,
Which-
just because it's a little bit less life points.
Yes, yeah.
And if the game's going to grind territory,
Yeah.
I think strikes are a little bit better in top deck situations.
Yeah.
For stuff like the Fiendsmiths, which are monster effects in hand that
Very
you cannot
true.
hit with Solemn.
Very, very true.
Next, we have our back row hate, 3
Oh, of
Cosmic
course, yep.
and 1 Duster.
Yep.
Just generic back row. And then finally, we have the Joker.
Oh, the Cowboy. Okay.
Cowboy for game.
How many times did you get Cowboy for game?
I've only really done it once or twice so far, but every time it's come up, it's just fun. So,
Yeah.
yeah. One thing that happened at the box tournament there was I got Squeaky Dogwood, Chain Called By, and then make Cowboy after that. Since they no longer game
Oh,
like,
man. That's so good.
and yeah, that is the deck.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Red Deer Champion. I really appreciate you giving me the deck profile. And yeah, guys, don't forget to, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think of the deck. And we'll probably see you next time, Kiefer.
Yeah, take care.
Deuces, my guy.